Hi everybody! It's that time of year, January, when all of the paperwork from last year has piled up and we realize, oh man, we need a different way to deal with this. We do not want to see this clutter. We don't want to have it around. We want to have a really good, easy way to deal with paper as it comes into the house. So that is my goal for you today. I'm going to show you my easy paper decluttering method. And when I say easy, what I mean is there are barely any things that you need for this, and you will not have to think about it too much throughout the week. So what I need for you to come up with is 2 containers. One will be kind of like a command center that will have a few tools that you need to deal with paper clutter quickly and easily. And the second one, I've chosen a black and white box that I kind of like the design too. This will be our filing system. When I say filing, I don't really mean filing. I mean like the easy way to do it, okay? Now to decide what kind of boxes or bins or containers you want, you may just have to think about your home, where you want to stash these and store them. If it needs to be out visually because you don't have a lot of storage, then you might want to choose something that you really like the look of. If you have a place that you can just tuck it away, you can just use a box. It doesn't matter. We just need 2 containers to keep all of our things in one location so that we always know where they are and we have easy access to them. I just wanted to say that at the end of this video, I'm going to show some before pictures of what these containers looked like, and my newly organized method, what the after pictures look like. So please stay tuned to the end of my video to see the before and after shots. So the first step to my system is to decide what happens with paper right when it comes into the house. The main way most of us get paper into the house is through the mail. So truthfully, I have a locked mailbox, and I don't go get the mail until I know I can deal with it sometime that day. Some of you may not be able to do that. You may have to pick up your mail every day because it's not locked up. So what I recommend is to try to deal with it as quickly as you can when it comes into the house, so it's not just sitting around bothering you and providing clutter for your home. So on our command center, we need at least 2 sections for 2 separate types of paper. So I have 2 different large sections here. One of these I have labeled to do. So those are the things really that we need to do probably within the next week, or something that has a consequence if we don't get it done, right? Like bills, or maybe signing a field trip form, things like that. If we can't do it immediately, then it should go into this slot, and I'm putting it in the front so that that is the thing that I can see. If your basket doesn't look like mine with 2 different compartments, you can use file folders. Just get 2 folders, label one of them to do, keep it in the front, and that is the spot that you will check most frequently to see if you had anything that you needed to get done right away. Now, I don't know about you, but I've heard of these Sunday baskets, and it seems like such a good idea. You have a command center kind of like this, and every Sunday you sit down and you look at what you need to pay and you pay it, but my brain does not work like that. I need organization like this, but I just cannot pick like one day that's always going to be my bill day. That's always going to be the day that I remember to look through this. And if I don't look through it at least once a week, I'm going to forget to pay something, right? So my strategy, I think, is even easier than having to make yourself schedule a day every week. If I cannot pay this bill right away, I put it in my to-do spot, but I do not put my basket away right now. I have to keep it on my table or maybe my counter, kind of in the way a little bit, so that I will not forget to pay this bill or do this task that I really need to get done. For me, this is different than just leaving a pile of papers on the table and hoping that they'll get paid. For one, I think that that looks like a lot more clutter. If you choose a basket that you don't really mind the look of, it visually doesn't bother you quite as much. But if you're having to work around it and you can visually see it all the time, I think you are way less likely to forget to do that task. And I don't know about you, but if you do not live alone, like I have a husband and 2 kids, if I just have paper sitting on the table or counter, I am nervous that that will just get quickly moved to the side or stuffed under something, and I will not see it again for weeks. But this seems a little bit less likely that my husband will just stash this somewhere when he's trying to set the table or something like that. So I think that having a container, even one with a lid on it if you want, there's a lot less risk for somebody else moving it and getting it lost. Okay, the to-do section was pretty easy to understand. The second section that we need to label is called future reference. So these are items, I have a few examples here. One might be the Scholastic book form that your child brings home. If you know you're not going to order from it, don't put it in the future reference. Toss it in the recycling, right? But if you are not sure, there's something that your child really wants, or maybe there's a birthday coming up that you think this might be a good gift, you can stick it in here if you're not quite ready to order from it. Okay, another item. I have a credit card that I would really like to cancel. So I am going to put this in my future reference because I don't have time to do it today, and it really doesn't hurt me if I don't do it for a month or two because I'm not putting anything onto that credit card. I just know that's a task that I want to do sometime in the near future. And this is one more bill that we get in paper form. It actually has some strips with information on it that we need to send in monthly. I think we'll only be doing this one more month. So I already paid it for last month. I'm going to stick it in here so I know where to find it for next month payment. And lastly, in this command center, we want to have all the tools we can think of that we may need for our most used tasks. So I have some stamps back here, some envelopes, tape, scissors, and a couple pens. I will also run down and get my checkbook, and from now on keep that in here so that I have it easy access for whenever I need to do a task or pay a bill. Now that we know what to do with paper when it first comes in the home, either we recycle it right away, we pay the bill right away, or do the task that we need to with that bill right away, or we can keep it in the to-do slot for a little while, right? Or maybe in the future reference for a while. But once we are done with that paper, and if it's still something that seems very important and that you need to hold on to, we have an easy filing system. I do need to preface this with saying you should recycle as much as you possibly feel comfortable with recycling. But of course there are those papers that we all feel like we can't get rid of yet. We need them. And I know what that's like. I have been filling out financial aid for the past several years, and we need so many things that come in paper forms, like our bills, utility bills, mortgage statements, things like that. I do like to get the paper forms of those because it's just a little trickier for me to find all of that digitally. So I still get the paper forms for the things that we really need, and I do hold on to those because we need to get that information into our financial aid application. So what I do with all of that stuff throughout the whole year is just toss it in this bin. Okay, if I need to find it before the end of the year, it's in this bin. Yeah, and you would think, well, that's a lot of papers. Well, I do really try to recycle as many as I can, but even those bills I am keeping. So I do have quite a few papers. But you'll find that the January papers are usually at the bottom. Then the February ones are after that. Then the March ones are after that, right? It makes sense. So it's quite easy to find them. Also, things really have pretty easy logos to find. So if I'm looking for my gas bill, I'm just kind of looking at what that bill looks like, and I can flip through and find those pretty easily. So this is very easy for me. Because we do need to add up a lot of things for financial aid in January or February, right before I do taxes, I usually accumulate all of those things and get them into a binder. If you typically do not need those types of bills anymore after 1 year, like I do, that was the time to go through that pile quickly and just recycle those bills. You don't need them, or shred them, whatever feels more comfortable to you. But I do feel like I need those, so I keep those, put them in a binder, and the way that I make that enjoyable, yes, that is the part that takes a little bit of extra time, is I just spread everything out in my family room and I watch a movie while I do it. Sometimes it takes 2 movies to get everything done, but it really is kind of enjoyable to do it that way. So during my child's nap time, movie time for mom, right? With a little bit of work attached to it, not such a big deal. So I tend to keep that binder for 7 years. Those are the things that I feel like if I got audited, I would need to show. So I keep those items for 7 years. I'm not the expert to recommend to you what you need to keep for 7 years or what you don't. I think it's more your comfort level and maybe your space, amount of space that you have to store these items. But whatever you feel is super important after that 1 year mark, you can toss it into an envelope, or if it's a little bit more items than that, you can toss it into a regular box, mark it with the year, and you really don't even have to look through those papers very much once it hits 7 years. If you haven't needed it in 7 years, you're not going to need it. So that is when you can get rid of those items, and that system just really works for me. I think that you will be able to really manage your paper if you do this method, and I don't think that you will forget to do your tasks with this method. I have watched a lot of paper clutter videos, strangely enough. I know that's kind of what I like to fill my time with, but I am going to say that I think this is the easiest system. I mean, filing, just throwing it in a box, right? Who wouldn't like that? I want to make your life easier. I wanted to make my life easier, and I really do think that this method makes life easy. So thank you so much for watching. If you want more videos about how I'm decluttering my house, and I'm on this minimalism journey to only keep things that really bring value to my family and to my life, I am posting a video every week this year to show a new area that I am decluttering, and I hope that you join me on that decluttering journey. Thanks so much. Please subscribe so that you can see more of my journey. Bye, everybody. Hey everybody, thank you for sticking around to the end so that you can see my before and after shots. This is my file box from every paper that I saved from 2020. My goal for 2021 is to recycle more early on and not have to wait until the end of the year. Now my file box is empty and ready for all of the papers for 2021. I brought this box downstairs and placed it on top of my other decorative box. In the bottom box, I have all of my old photos and home videos on CD. Before, I had this basket temporarily placed into the top part of my china hutch, which was not ideal, and it was just a drop zone for papers and different tools. And now I have made room in the bottom of my china hutch for this command center. I'm so pleased this basket now has a home.